I'm sure you agree that making sure that we have adequate funding to transport our students to and from school is very important to all of our school districts. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Sure.
Do you anticipate any costs of transportation going up between now and the next 5 years?
I don't know.
I mean, would it be
I don't know.
reasonable to say
I
that,
imagine it would go up.
that it would go up? I mean, every year we seem to have a bump in that. How much input do you have with other secretaries when they propose they send you their budgets and their requests? How much pushback do you give them on some of their requests in their budgets?
Well, I mean, ultimately, I guess I have that decision on, what we can fund and what we can't. That goes for all agencies, I imagine. There are, not me solely, of course, but other members of the governor's team. But, agencies submit what they feel they need, and then we have to review all of them and determine what we can actually fund.
Yeah. So my question is on the pupil transport. On page E15-10 in the governor's budget book, it actually states that we're going to level fund transportation for our students for the next 5 years, all the way to 2025. Level fund, no increase. And we're already $157 million that we're saying we're short this year. So why would we put level funding in the budget for anticipating for the next 5 years if we know it's going to cost us more even this year?
Yeah, it comes down to resources at the end of the day, and we do provide the funding to the school districts that they need. It just is on more of a rolling cash basis.
So when is the day of reckoning? When are we going to finally realize, wow, I mean, because it's going to get worse every year. Obviously, it's going to be more and more. When is the final day that we have to say, you know what, we value this, we're going to put money in the budget for it? When do we finally have to do that?
I guess that's for us to discuss moving forward.
I think that would be something I would love to talk more about. And it kind of, in a sense, goes back to this kabuki dance that we've all been talking about.
Everyone's favorite word.
Which is now, this is the hot topic, which
That is Chairman Bradford's favorite.
Yes,
Develop some sort of game for that.
yes,
word.
which I would say there's no dancing going on over here. You wouldn't want that. But I would like to caution, you and I are both new at this process. I think last year was your first year. Last year was my first year. I've learned a lot. You've probably learned a lot over this year. But it seems to me that this process that we go through every year, where we talk about projects that we want to do and new initiatives, and that's all fun. But when it comes right down to actually providing the funds that we know we're going to have to provide, we don't do that. We don't do that in the budget. And I will say that's frustrating for me because I want to utilize the best of my time and utilize it to the best of my abilities. So when I come and we really get an unrealistic proposal, I would say if we pass this as it is today, as it was proposed to us today, the amount of cuts to our health care folks, and all the research that we're doing, to agriculture and to our transportation, just to name a few, I mean, it would be staggering to what would really happen. So is this a realistic budget proposal?
I would say yes.
I mean, there's nothing that you would change after all these hearings that we've had, is there
I would make
anything
it
that you would
rain
change?
money, and then I would change a lot of things.
That's right.
But otherwise, in
too.
the real life, no.
Yeah, but I mean, the realistic truth is that we'll take this proposal, we'll look at it, we look at the projects that we all got to talk about, and they're all good things that we all want to do, but at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we fund the things that we are responsible to fund. And the good folks of the Commonwealth want us to invest their money wisely and make sure that we continue to fund the obligations that we are responsible to do. So I guess my message would be, I hope that next year we can have more realistic and maybe fund some of these areas instead of cutting agriculture, instead of not funding areas that we know we are going to have to fund. That would be my request. But I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate what you do for us here in the Commonwealth.